Cool. Hi, folks. Um, I am very excited to be doing this Q&A. Thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I did not think that would happen. Yesterday was my 2-year BookTube anniversary, and so today I thought I would answer some questions. So I did ask on Twitter for some questions, which is what I'll be going off. But if anyone would like to go and send more questions in the live chat, feel free, and I will do my best to answer those as well. And why am I doing a Q&A? Frankly, because I couldn't be bothered to edit a video this week, so we're doing it live, because I really, really did not want to edit a video. So, let me open Twitter and see what's happening. Okay. I'm going to answer Anna's questions first. Anna from Slytherin Reader is one of my best friends here on the platform, and she has asked a whole slew of questions. The first one is, last 5 songs you listened to, which Folklore by Taylor Swift came out, and I'm just, I'm such a big Taylor Swift stan, and this album, is her best work, y'all. Best lyrically, most sonically cohesive. It is brilliant. I'm in a Reputation shirt right now. So the last 5 songs I listened to were definitely all from Folklore because I haven't been able to stop listening to it. So last songs I was listening to is probably Last Great American Dynasty, Cardigan, The One, Mad Woman, and Exile. Also, I don't know what I was expecting for the Bon Iver collab, but it's so good. It's so good. No, I don't have a ranking for Folklore yet. I don't know how everyone's picking their top 3 and stuff. I'm just screaming into the void when I think about the album. It's just so good. I have no coherent thoughts about it. It took all my remaining brain cells and left with them. Also, let's ignore what my bangs are doing because I have no clue either. My favorite concert, I have only been to one concert in my life, which was a Backstreet Boys reunion tour opened by New Kids on the Block. So I guess that, but I would absolutely love to go to a Taylor Swift concert. I would love to go to a Panic at the Disco concert, and also if The Amazing Devil ever does anything, I am there. I am skipping school. I am yeeting myself out of the country to go see what The Amazing Devil is doing. Where do you want to travel to that you've never been to? Probably the UK. I have so many people that I want to meet who are from the UK, so I really want to go there. But also, in February, I went to Montreal to visit my best friend, and it was such a nice, cute little place, and I feel like that's what the UK looks like, with the cobblestone roads and stuff and brick houses. So I want to go there. I could be completely off though. Something you never leave home without. My phone, I guess, though sometimes I do leave the house without it. Wallet? Lip balm? I don't actually know how to answer that. And favorite book tropes. Oh gosh, I should have looked at that beforehand. What are my favorite book tropes? I guess friends to lovers would be one of my faves. I really love fairy tale retellings. Yeah, I really should have thought of this beforehand, huh? Well, too late now. From Ashley, what food are you desperately craving but haven't been able to eat? Oh my god. Okay. I have been craving dim sum for so long. Literally the day I came home, I was like, Mom, Dad, can we go for dim sum? I made a list on my phone on Chinese New Year of dim sum I wanted to eat. It was just a list of food. And yeah, it makes me hungry every time I look at that list. But yeah, I have that on my phone. From Yara, what's your favorite hobby besides reading? Um, do I have hobbies? Well, now I guess probably art, because I've been drawing kind of. Does sleeping count? I really love sleeping. I'm really, really good at sleeping for extended periods of time and also staying in bed the whole day. My family hates it, but what can you do? Okay. Book you know you'll never get to, but really want to. What book do I think I won't get to? Huh. I don't know. What is a book I don't think I'll get to? Hang on. I'm gonna go on Goodreads and see what book has been on my TBR for the longest. We'll figure out what book this is. Oh, I am 5 books behind schedule. That's fun. I have lost all motivation to read during this time, which again is why I'm so stunned that like Taylor Swift put out a whole ass album. She put up a whole album during this. Jesus Christ. Okay. When is what do I want to read that I haven't? Oh God. Okay. Well, the book that has been on my TBR the longest is Emma by Jane Austen. I really want to read all the Jane Austen books. Unfortunately, I've still only read Pride and Prejudice. I own so many copies of that book. So, yeah, I guess just other Jane Austen books. Wow, I should really prioritize that, huh? Oh, also, Gone with the Wind. I keep trying to read this book. And I can't get past like the first 2 chapters. I just can't. There's so much happening and I have no clue what to do with it. And favorite type of video to make. I really love making videos with other people. So I did a video with Anthra, which was a series I need to read. And then I did film another video with her that I haven't edited because I know it's going to be a pain to edit. So yeah, I really love them with other people. So I'm so sad about BookCon this year. I was going to go to BookCon and meet people. I would have hugged people at BookCon. I'm so sad. I miss hugs. I really miss hugs. Um, from the book Goblin, if you were a goblin, would you be a mountain goblin, cave goblin, swamp goblin, or a forest goblin? Well, I live on a mountain, so probably mountain goblin. Though I will say cave goblin does sound really cool. What is a book that had the greatest impact on me? I mean, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas is up there because it was my favorite book for like a decade. It's also kind of the book that I really got into classics from, but also reading. And it's probably why I'm not that scared of long books because it's over 1,000 pages. But also, my favorite book is Daisy Jones and the Six. And it's permanently on my body. So that's an impact. If I had to read just one book over and over again for the rest of my life, what would I choose? See, if I'm reading this book over and over, does that mean like only physically, only audiobooky, that kind of thing? Um, hmm. What book would I read over and over? I mean, again, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid is my favorite book, but I think it might be Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston because it's just so fun and so hopeful that like I keep rereading just the ending pages of Red, White, and Royal Blue just because I love them so much. So I want to say Red, White, and Royal Blue, but I don't want to just read one book over and over for the rest of my life. There's so many books I love. Like that means I can't read the Song of Achilles again. I can't listen to the Daisy Jones and the Six audiobook. That's so sad. What fantasy world would I want to stay in if I get a chance to? I feel like I'd die a terrible, horrific death in any fantasy world. Like, literally any of them. Um, what world wouldn't I die in? I don't think I'd die in the world of Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I think I'd be able to stay alive in that world. Um, ooh, I have it right here, actually. I might also survive the world in The Thief by Megan Whalen Turner, but also it's really focused on like one guy, so I'm not sure what the rest of the world is like. I'm really just thinking of this in terms of survival. Like, like I was about to say Beauty and the Beast, I want to have that library, but also like peasants are probably dying and stuff because it's like 16th century France, right? It's right? It's like 16th century France. Like I would be dead. I would be very dead. I would not be in a well, actually the aristocrats would die soon anyway. Yeah, I think we'll say Crescent City just because I think I'll survive. Antra, I'm going through the questions in order. Stop texting me to answer your question. Jesus. um, she did this too during my other live with like Cindy and Chanel and stuff. She was texting me answers the whole time. Um, what book do you think everyone should read before they die? Um, The Count of Monte Cristo is still up there. I think it's one of the most brilliant books I've ever read. Um, and it tells you so much about like revenge and kind of what you're willing to do for certain things. So I love that. Um, I really do think though that everyone should read No Man of Woman Born by Anna Mardol just because it is such a fun book and it's they're gorgeous retellings that are all about trans and non-binary characters and they're such good fantasy short stories. There's so many worlds they talk that's in that book. So that's what I want to say. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Um, if I could have dinner with any book character, who would it be and what would we eat? Um, well, funnily enough, I had this question in an interview, and I said Evelyn Hugo from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because she's such a fascinating person, and I think that she's the kind of person where every time you talk to her, every conversation you have, you learn something. Maybe it's about her, maybe it's about the world, maybe it's about how she sees the world, maybe it's just like the news, but I think you would always be learning from Evelyn Hugo. And that's amazing to me. So, Evelyn Hugo, what would we eat? The only thing I can remember Evelyn eating is a salad, but I really don't like salad. Can we go for steak? I want to go for steak. I'm going to say we're going to go for steak with Evelyn Hugo. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with. Oh my god. From Maya, who is Mastify on YouTube, another one of my booktube friends. She has asked, how are you so cool? Do you play ice hockey because you're Canadian? Were you born with skates on your feet? Maya, do you think Canadians just like cut ourselves out of the womb with skates on our feet? Um, I was not born with skates on my feet. I do not play hockey. Um, I have played hockey in like skating lessons and like field trips. We went on field trips to the skating rink. Is that a Canadian thing, going on field trips to the skating rink? So I've played, but like never seriously. I did do a little bit of figure skating as well. But yeah, I do really miss skating. Um, and yeah, I don't know how to answer the cool question because I'm sitting on a couch at 2 p.m. answering questions from Twitter on YouTube while wearing a Taylor Swift shirt. I'm not sure how cool that is, Maya. Um, ooh. So Claudia from Spencer's Library says, how, if at all, has BookTube changed your reading taste? I think BookTube has made me branch out a lot more in terms of what I read. So I've been reading a lot more fantasy. I've known a lot about a lot more queer books because of BookTube. I don't think it's necessarily changed my reading taste, but it's definitely like broadened what I would try to read and what books I would have heard of. So, for example, I don't think I would have read Daisy Jones or Six of Crows or Evelyn Hugo, Red, White, and Royal Blue if it weren't for BookTube. Um, so that. Or The Fever King, actually. I don't think I would have read The Fever King and The Electric Air if not for BookTube. And I love that duology. Um, cool. How much has the ace community on Twitter or any social media affected your personal relationship with being ace? And how do you cope with the negativity surrounding the ace community? Okay. How do I cope with the negativity? It's mostly, Dan Howell's coming out video, which by the way is absolutely brilliant. It's 45 minutes of pure art. But one of the things he says about like homophobia, he's like, I just don't agree, and like frankly, that's how I deal with it. I don't agree. And like, how much does the ace community on Twitter affect your personal relationship with being ace? I think it's taught me a lot more about what I can also consider as ace. And that like it's actually a like I don't I don't think I know any ace people in real life. Wait, that's a lie. I do know ace people in real life. But like the first people I've met who were ace were all online. So like Alice from Books with Modern Drama. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. I realize I'm not very eloquent right now. Okay, Antra, I'm getting to your question. So she says to do 3 songs from Folklore by Taylor Swift as books, which the songs she's chosen are Exile, Betty, and The Last Great American Dynasty, which this is a hard question. Jesus Christ. Um, hmm. For Exile, I think I'm going to say The Favor King by Victoria Lee. Because the romance in that book is very, very angsty. Claudia, I did just answer your question. um, but what I said for that, sorry, Hunter, I'm just like glossing over yours. What I said was that I think it's broadened what I would choose to read a lot more. I don't think my taste has necessarily changed. I've just heard about so many more books that I will try to read or reach for, and I don't think I would have read so many of my favorite books if not for BookTube. Um, yeah, I want to say for Exile that it would be The Fever King. Um, if you've read it, there's a thing about Dara that I'm not going to spoil here that directly connects to this. I think for what's going on with Lair, um, also connects to it. And I'm trying to talk so obliquely around this because I don't want to spoil The Fever King because it's brilliant. But like the signs regarding Lair and the way he treats Gnome, um, and just Dara and Gnome and that romance stuff going on. Yeah, I'm trying so hard not to spoil it, but The Fever King would be Exile. Um, hold on. Then it's Betty. Oh gosh, what would I choose for Betty? Yes, I'm just searching up the lyrics. Because I have to think about this. Hmm. What what would be Betty? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I think what I'm gonna say for Betty is hmm. Let's Talk About Love by Claire Kahn. It is a book about an asexual biromantic black girl, and it's brilliant. And this does semi-connect to the main relationship, but not really. I don't know. The other thing I would say is Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. I think that also would fit Betty, and Her Royal Highness also fits the queer vibes of Betty. And Last Great American Dynasty. I'm trying to think of a book with like an iconic house because the song's kind of centered around the previous owners of Taylor Swift's Rhode Island house. What is a book centered around a house? Oh my god, can I say Pride and Prejudice? I want to say Pride and Prejudice. Because it's about a super cool woman and also kind of about a house. I know these are probably not great answers to songs as books, but put on the spot, that's what I'm going to say. Um, oh man, okay. Yeah, I'm very eloquent today, clearly. Um, but I believe that is all the questions I have from Twitter. So if anyone else has questions they would like to throw in chat, go ahead. I will answer those. If not, I'm literally just going to sit here and probably chat for the next little bit. Probably mostly about Folklore by Taylor Swift because it's so good. Oh my god, it is so brilliant. Like literally, I have not been able to stop listening to it. Like I can't talk to people. If you're not talking to me about Folklore by Taylor Swift, I don't want to talk. It's so good. It's just so good. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. It's just really, really good. Okay? It's just kind of brilliant. And yeah, I just got into folk music at the beginning of quarantine. I guess Taylor Swift did as well, because she went and wrote a folk album, which is just amazing. Um, and it's just so much fun. I don't know. I'm just kind of in love with it. Um, and it's such a different vibe for her, but it's also so on brand somehow. And this might be her like most raw album, and also something about listening to Taylor Swift swear is like amazing to me. I don't know why, but I love when she swears in songs. Um I can't do a ranking. I don't know how anyone's done a ranking so far. I think my favorite is the Bon Iver collab. I think it's Exile. Don't hold me to that, but I think it's Exile. And after that, it might be Cardigan? The Last Great American Dynasty? Maybe? I don't know. I really have no clue. But I just kind of love it. Yeah, I do realize I'm just like rambling about nothing now. Well, um, let's see if there's anything else I can talk about. What else can I talk about? I just read A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. It's the sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. And it's so good. These books somehow have so much of Hank Green's personality in them, and it's absolutely brilliant. So each of the characters, because A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor is told from multiple perspectives. Each of the characters manages to capture a perfect part of his personality. So, like, April May is like the silly, dorky, I make TikToks, haha, side of him. And then, like, meanwhile, Miranda? Miranda is like the sciencey person, and Carl, oh my god. So, like, the thing about, like, the Carls, right, in an absolutely remarkable thing is that they're like something that's just kind of appeared out of nowhere. They're robots that just kind of showed up. Um, and in A Beautiful Foolish Endeavor, Hank writes some probably fake science, but like some scientific explanation on how they showed up and like why, and it's fascinating. Um, and while like an absolutely remarkable thing, like gave me such hope for humanity, I feel like A Beautiful Foolish Endeavor kind of tanked that hope, but not really. Like, it gave me a much more realistic view and understanding of humanity. And, like, these are Hank Green's first two books. Like, what the hell, man? How? 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 Um, it's just really, really good. And, like, I may or may not like Hank Green as an author more than John Green, but that feels strange to say that. Um, but he might be. Um, yeah, that's it. Might be. Ooh. Um, yeah. If you could set two characters up from different books, which ones would you set up? Who would I set up? I'm trying to think of like two stabby people I could put together, but I'm not sure who are very stabby people. Who's a stabby character? Dara from The Fever King is a stabby character. Oh no, but I don't want to set him up for the Nash. Because that was my first thought, second thought for stabby character. But I don't want to do that. No, this was not the right route to go on. Who would I set up? I have no idea. Wow. Okay, just completely blanking on that one. Such from different books. Hmm. I want to set Pez from Red, One, Royal Blue up with someone, but I don't know who to set him up with. Actually, I think Pez from Red, One, Royal Blue and Gnome from The Fever King would cause a lot of chaos, and I just want to see that. I don't think they'd be a great couple, but I just want to see the amount of chaos those two can generate because they are very like I'll do what I want kind of people. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. We're gonna see what kind of chaos and revolution they create because I think it would be very amusing for me, not for them, but for me. If I could only meet one author in my life, who would I choose? It's probably Hank or John Green. Like I've been watching their videos on Vlogbrothers since I was like 12. So they've been huge role models for me. They've taught me a lot of things, and I also love their books. So I think I'd want to meet them, which I technically kind of have. I had like a 20-second slot at a signing to talk to both of them, so there's not really a lot happening there. But I would love to just sit down at dinner and like chat about things. I think it'd be really fun and it'd be really interesting. And I think just even like having one dinner would teach me so much and also just make me so happy. Oh my god, can you imagine? Um, if I were first to write a book, what genre would it be? Okay, everyone on BookTube is doing like writing vlogs and Cat NaNoWriMo, and I do not want to write a book. I have never been a writer. I have never enjoyed writing. I literally went into a computer science degree because I wanted to avoid any and all essays. Granted, that didn't work because I realized I hated comp sci, so I'm now a sociology major, which is nothing but essays. But I really am not a book person, but book writing person. I am a book person. I like reading. I don't like writing. So if I were forced to write a book, I think it would have to end up being like a contemporary queer something or other. I don't think I could delve that far into fantasy. I think that's really difficult and requires so much more planning and world building. And like, I can barely write a plot. I don't think I can create a world. So I want to say like a contemporary queer romance, but also like, how am I going to write a romance? Maybe just like a contemporary novel. Can I just write about a kid going to school? That's going to be incredibly boring, actually. I want to write about best friends, a contemporary best friend book, but it's queer. But they're yeah, I don't know, something contemporary because I cannot write anything beyond this world. My brain cells can't even comprehend the world I'm living in right now. You want me to create a new one? Like, what language do your trees speak? No, I cannot do that. Nope. Nope. Oh God. Okay. Do all the Taylor Swift albums as books, as a whole, not individual songs. Oh my God, stop! Sorry, I'm just going through text with Unthra. Okay. Taylor Swift albums as books. Lover is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. It's kind of political. It's very romancy, fluffy, with a little bit of angst. It's a great, like, beat. It's fantastic. So, yeah, I'm going to say Red, White, and Royal Blue. Um, huh. What is, Reputation, I'm going to say is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Um, because I feel like it really matches the Eli and Victor vibe, and the whole like black and white scheme of that. 1989. I feel like I should say a book set in New York, except I can't think of a single book right now that is set in New York. I'm just completely blanking on that. 1989 is City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's about going to a new city and meeting new people and learning lessons the hard way. So I'm gonna go with City of Girls. And City of Girls also is so much about like a love that's not your traditional kind of love. And I think that matches 1989, kind of. Red. What would be red? I realize now a good portion of this video is just me going, let me think about an answer, because I don't have answers to anything. What would I, what would be like a nostalgia soft romance? This is hard. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. Now I'm just going through the other albums and trying to think if there's another one that's easier for me to think of a book about, but I have no clue. What would the other albums by Taylor Swift be? Yeah, everyone's always talking about a book, writing a book, and I'm always like, but how? Like, just because I like to read and I can read them doesn't mean I'm going to create them. Um, what would red be? I'm literally, oh my god, red is Beach Read. Red is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Beach Read also has Taylor Swift references in it. Beach Read is the only book I've like full on sobbed at. It was like 2 in the morning and I was in bed crying. over Beach Read. And yeah, I'm gonna say Red is Beach Read by Emily Henry. That book destroyed me. Yeah, I think that's one of the books in which I sent a multitude of texts swearing at Unthra for recommending the book to me. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Beach Read. What is Speak Now / Enchanted? What is that? I literally might just have to go on Goodreads and look at what I've read, but Lord knows that it's going to be impossible to go through Goodreads in a good manner because it sucks. I have been using Booksloth, which I'm also Miss Coco Chen there, but Booksloth doesn't have a desktop app, or a desktop like website, which is upsetting. Because I find it way easier to be able to interact if there's like just a website, so I can type reviews up that way and not have to do it like on my phone. What have I read? Let's see. What would be Speak Now? I'm gonna say Speak Now is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. I'm not set on that, but Speak Now both has songs like Enchanted, where she sings like I was enchanted to meet you, but also Haunted, um, which is like, come on, don't leave me like this. I thought I had you figured out. Something's gone terribly wrong. So I think I'm gonna go with Autobiography. Again, not solid on that, but that's what I'm gonna say. Fearless, I want to say, is Circe by Madeline Miller, because it's about learning and growing in your relationships, and I think that's the vibe Fearless gives off. What am I gonna say for debut? Her debut EP. I'm gonna go with Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, because it's a friends to lovers, and that's the vibe Taylor Swift by Taylor Swift gives off. And now I just have to find something for folklore, but folklore is like an indescribable beauty. How do you find something that matches folklore? What book would possibly even? Oh man, I need to. I'm literally just going through my Goodreads now and trying to find one book that lives up to folklore. I don't think I'll find it though, because I can't imagine. I cannot imagine a book that would live up to this. Yeah, I really don't have a clue. I feel like the only book that's in my Goodreads right now that would kind of have the vibe is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. But I'm not sold on that. I don't have another book for folklore. That's all I've got. So I think I'm going with that. Yeah. This was a very disorganized way to figure out what each of the albums were. But that's what I'm going with. Debut is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Fearless is, I've already forgotten what my answers were. Crap. What did I say Fearless was? Oh yeah, Fearless is Circe. Speak Now is Autobiography. What did I say for Red? Wow. All my thoughts flew out the window, huh? Okay, well, that's fun. I don't remember what I said for anything. That's brilliant. Um, I think 1989 was City of Girls. Reputation is vicious. Lover is Red, White, Royal Blue. Folklore is Folklore's Picture of Dorian Gray. Wow, what did I say for red? Seriously. Did that literally just leave my thoughts and never come back? Yep, I guess. We're never meeting that thought again. The brain cell has left the chat. Okay, that's what we're going with. Wow, I'm doing great at this. Beach read for red. That's what I said. Okay, what's a non-mainstream fairy tale or folk tale that I want a retelling of? Not necessarily a fairy tale or folk tale, but I want a lot of Chinese history to be retold in like fun YA book format because I think it'd be so interesting. Like the Empress who literally the Empress who married the Emperor, not married. Technically, okay, so technically how like it used to work is that like everyone who was a concubine was technically married to the king, but to the emperor, but then he only had like one main person who was like his wife, and then he had like a main hoe, like a main concubine. I don't know if I'm explaining this well or correctly. But basically, she became main hoe, main concubine of this emperor. He died. When the emperor dies, all of the concubines go to a nunnery and become nuns. Like literally get thee to a nunnery. And then the next emperor, who was one of the sons of the previous one, but was not one of the ones she fathered, decided that actually he wanted her to be his main hoe too. So, but this emperor was really sickly, I think, is this guy. So what ended up happening is she really made a lot of decisions in his stead, but it's suspected that she poisoned him to keep him sickly, and then he died, and so she was like, what is it, like Empress Regent or something like that, because like their kid was really young, so he couldn't be emperor yet. But when the kid started growing up, and anyway, she like accused him of murdering his own daughter who she killed, to get him thrown out of the country in exile. So she threw the emperor out of his own country by killing his kid and saying that he killed her. And then she became empress. She literally survived 3 separate emperors to become empress. And it's said that she created these confession boxes in which like people would put like confessions and like tell on their neighbors about, but really it was her own people putting things in those boxes. So they'd say like this person did this, blah blah blah, and then she'd make them she made them kill themselves on their own swords. And I think that would be a really cool retelling. Which again, definitely not a fairy tale, but she was super cool. So I think that would be great. I think her name was Wu Zetian, maybe? She was very cool. Nothing like poisoning people and becoming their main hoe to rule a dynasty. Another one I think really cool is the Pirate Queen. I don't remember a lot about her. Hold on. There's a Pirate Queen of China, I think. But also, I just love pirates, okay? I just really love pirates. Yes, oh my god. This is the Pirate Queen. This is, oh my god. Yes. Which apparently there are tons of books about her already. But man, I need to go find those books then. But she she entered into conflict with the British Empire, the Portuguese Empire, and the Qing Dynasty. She literally went against China. And she's also super cool. So I would say Also the Empress, so the Empress of China and the Pirate Queen of China. Unthra? Really? Unthra just texted me and said, do you support regicide? um, which, like, yes, down with the monarchy, but also, like, don't murder people. But the Empress was still really cool. Still very, very cool. Yeah. I'm now trying to think of any fairy tales or folk tales that I know of that are Chinese and cool, but I can't think of a single fairy tale right now. They've all left my head entirely. Um, what would be a cool retelling? I don't know. Any queer Chinese history would be so cool because there's so much like queer Chinese history that like no one really knows about. And so once you start finding them out, once you learn about like the queer god, queer god of the queers, god of the gays, something like that. Like it's so fascinating. Oh my god, I would love to see a retelling about Chinese gods. That would be so cool. Um, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. So yeah, just lots of history. Um, if you could give any author a prompt for a short story, who would you prompt, what, and why? Um, Author I would choose is either Anna Mardol or Roshni Chokshi. Anna Mardol wrote my favorite short story collection, No Man of Woman Born, and normally I'm not a huge fan of short stories just because I don't think they do enough or I always want more, but Anna Mardol managed to do them so well. Like you still want more, but you're so satisfied with what you got. Um, or I would go with Roshni Chokshi just because I really, really adore her writing style and I think it would go very well for a short story. What would I prompt? Can I just prompt pirates? Y'all, I got back into my Pirates of the Caribbean phase recently because I got Disney Plus for Hamilton, which is brilliant, by the way. But I just went and rewatched the first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and they're so good. And like, I missed Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom so much. Um, yeah, they're so good. So now I'm really in like a pirates phase. And Taylor Swift also mentions pirates in the song Seven in her new album Folklore. Yes, this whole live stream has just been about Taylor Swift and pirates. This is what my life is about right now. Um, yeah, wow, I am a disaster. Holy crap. Yeah, that's pirates were a lot more formative to me than I thought, really, because I went and saw Pirates of the Caribbean and I was like, wow, okay, this was a lot more important to me than I thought. Oh my god. What will happen if you meet Taylor Swift? I'd probably scream, pass out, and die on the spot. I don't know. I don't know. I just really love her and she's so cool and like literally knew what she wanted to be when she was 12 and just decided, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then she like succeeded because she's just brilliant. Um, yeah, I think I'd cry and get a really big hug and then pass out immediately on the spot. Maybe even die on the spot. I don't know if my heart could handle that. Like, yeah. Like I've been obsessed with her since I was like 12. I'm 19. That's a good chunk of my life. It's more than a third of my life. So I might just spontaneously combust. Just set myself on fire right there. Do you read plays? And what's your favorite? I have not read many plays. Mostly because, okay, you know when people say they can read books and imagine what's happening? Y'all, I don't know how anyone does that. I have no clue what characters look like. Like, when you show me castings of characters, I might be like, oh my god, yes, that's it. But, like, I I would not have a picture in my head of that character. So like anyone who's like, yeah, I want to read the book before the movie, so I have an idea of what it's like in my head first. And I'm like, you all see things in your head when you read books? You can really imagine what characters look like? You can imagine the world and the scenery? Like I just read words, y'all. Like I don't know how anyone just kind of absorbs anything. Um so like Plays and I don't get along because of that, because I can't imagine anything. And so seeing a play will be infinitely better for me than reading a play. But I do have fantastic memories of Macbeth by Shakespeare. We did it in my AP 11 class, and we had to like act it out and do like reenactments, and it was wild. It was so wild. I think at one point they were fighting with like Nerf swords. No, we didn't have Nerf swords with that one. It was an umbrella and like a long paper tube, and that's what the sword fight between Macduff and Macbeth was used with. And they like fought themselves outside of the door of the classroom, came back in with like daggers, but their daggers were bananas. And like they brought a skull as a prop so that he like dragged his body out and then brought back the skull to like do the monologue with. Um, and like, yeah, I have great, fantastic memories of doing like that. But like, I cannot imagine anything in books. It just doesn't happen. It's like when, like, I don't think if someone tells me like picture an apple in your head. I mean, like I can think of an apple and I have the idea of an apple in my head right now, but like I'm not seeing it. Um, I can, however, do that with music. Like I can just think of music in my head and I can hear it playing, but I can't visualize books. I really don't know what y'all are on about. Like I have no clue. Like I need picture books. Bring back picture books so I don't need to use my poor stupid imagination. Um but yeah, no, I just can't do that, which is why Plays and I are not having a good time. I should probably read plays though, because people have said that Oscar Wilde's plays are stunning and much better than his novel writing, and I loved The Picture of Dorian Gray. So yeah, I hopefully will read that someday, but